The day has finally come where I can do a comparison video of all of the different Menstrual Cup applicators, including, yes, the SunnyCup applicator. Hello and welcome to the Period Nirvana channel. My name is Kim Roses and I'm a reusable period products expert. I've been using menstrual cups and discs for over a decade, and I also run the reusable retail store Period.shop, where I curate a selection of the top quality and best brands out there. So if you like this educational content and want to support the channel, all you have to do if you're in the US is go to Period.shop and add the products to your cart that you need. If you're new to menstrual cups and discs, also make sure to check out the periodnirvana.com menstrual cup and disc quiz, where you can find what's most likely to work for you. One last thing, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Now let's get started with today's video topic, menstrual cup applicators. There are so many options compared to just a year or two ago. Obviously, the one everyone is really interested in is the SunnyCup and the SunnyCup applicator. This is not a universal menstrual cup applicator. It only works with the SunnyCup, whereas some of the other options that I have to show you today are universal. They work with multiple different brands and sizes of menstrual cups. So I want to go over all of the different menstrual cup applicators that are currently available either worldwide or here in the US. I have tried most of these out, but I just got the SunnyCup applicator, so I haven't really been able to test it on my period. So this video is more of a mechanical demonstration of the different menstrual cup applicators, but I am going to give you some of my impressions of them. So first, let's start with the one that I've tried first, and of course one that's been out the longest. This is the Fleurity Universal Applicator. This is what I would call a clothespin style applicator. There are a few other brands who also make one, including the brand Enna. With the Fleurity one, it comes apart completely. I'm going to try this with the Diva cup. We're going to do a punch down fold, and we're going to insert. The stem can go into this little deeper section. What I really struggle with on the clothespin style is keeping the cup folded. Right now it's doing an okay job. And then you're going to insert. That kind of looked easy. Let's try it again inside of a model. Push the cup in. Yeah, it's mildly successful, but there you go. And I'm having to kind of manually help this open. Now we're going to talk about the Pixie, which is very similar. It's also a clothespin style menstrual cup applicator. And they also added a bonus feature. I've tried the C-fold with both of these clothespin styles. It just does that every time. I really struggle with these clothespin style everything. Keeping it folded is definitely the hardest part. This is doing pretty well right now. But you can see, to make that hold it, you've got these flared pinchers that are going to be noticeable when you insert it. Just what it looks like. That's my opinion on what that would feel like. But I do appreciate that this stays kind of locked and it doesn't come out. Ugh. Okay, so here we go. Going into this cube, insert, plunge. It sort of just pushes the top away from it versus pushing the cup out, at least in this model. That's not doing so hot either. So when I tried the Fleurity applicator, I had mixed success. I haven't tried this Pixie applicator. I've tried the Cup Buddy, which is functionally very much the same. It's like a plastic spoon to help you break the seal. If you have maybe super long nails, that might be helpful. And then it has a finger grip, so it's a little more detailed. They've paid attention to a couple of things that this one did not. In the end, I still struggle with keeping the cup folded before inserting, and I'm going to guess that the actual insertion experience is very similar to this, but I can't really speak to it because I haven't tried this one to insert yet. But I was surprised how far these flared out, because it's not as rigid as the Fleurity. Like, these are really thick. They don't flare. Like, this is meant to be more comfortable. So you can see how it flares out, which, of course, if you were putting into a small hole, would probably not be super comfortable. And so just to give you a quick demo of what the bottom of the Pixie cup applicator does, it's meant to sort of break the seal for you and help you in that way pull your cup down and break the seal. Part of the appeal of all applicators is that they are maybe better for people with certain disabilities and access and reach issues, maybe for people who have a hard time keeping the cups folded. But that part, keeping the cup folded, is hard to do with this as well. So you've got the cup opening and you have to fold it over and over until you get things to go. Next is the CupUp applicator. This one is from Denmark and it looks like 2 tubes, and effectively that's what it is. There are a few design elements to make it not just 2 tubes, one bigger than the other. It has a kind of rounded hole at the top for where the stem would go on your cup, and it has this narrower section that flares out here, but this doesn't lock in, so it falls. I've dropped it a million times already. Because it was designed in Denmark, I found that the cup that works really well for this is unsurprisingly the Organic cup. So the way the CupUp works is just holds it folded, and you push the plunger in to insert the cup. So you have this together. I think this works best with a perfect C-fold where everything is completely level. And I'll show you why. This rim covers up the sharp edges, or not rounded, not smoothed out edges of the CupUp. So you've got essentially a C-fold, and it's just holding it in the C-fold. So even though it looks ginormous, I don't really find that it functions as ginormously as it looks, if that makes sense. But it is bigger than the SunnyCup applicator in terms of size. It's smaller than the Missile by maybe a little bit. Just like anything else, you're going to use this as the plunger to deploy your cup inside. So you put it in a little bit, and then you push, and that is that. And this one's not opening in the model. And when I used it, I did try this for a dry run a few times. I also couldn't get the cup to open without manually assisting it. There are like several things that I like about the CupUp. I like that you can use the C-fold and that it just is very simple. I don't love that it is quite large, but functionally, if the cup has a rim, it's not uncomfortable. I did use lubricant to help, but it covers up that sharp edge. I did give this one a try for a disc, and it does fit a disc. The issue is that it doesn't have anything covering up the top rim like the cup rim did. So I just found this very pinchy. Other people might actually be able to use that or find a way around it, but because there was nothing covering that top rim, I just did not love that experience. But again, I only use this for a dry run. But the nice thing about the CupUp is it is universal. As long as the cup has a rim, that's my recommendation, it will work with any brand. Here's a saltine, although I don't know if a teen would use something this ginormous. Here's a TU cup. As long as you can fold it into a C-fold and it has a rim, it does hold it folded while you push it in. Going based purely on my dry runs, I think this one works well, but again, it's like this comes apart, it doesn't stick to it, you're gonna drop it. I dropped it multiple times using it for me, using it for dry runs, using it in models, like it just slides around. It only works with cups that have a rim, and I wouldn't use it for a disc for comfort reasons, just because that is not smooth. So conceptually, I liked a lot about this. It's just stupid simple. I think there could be some improvements to it. I don't know where you can buy it in the US. I was able to get it from the brand directly because I was curious about it. Now, SunnyCup. SunnyCup applicator. You can only use the SunnyCup inside of the SunnyCup applicator. This is not a universal experience. The reason for that is the design of the SunnyCup was made specifically for this applicator. The cup has a very thin set of walls. To put it in the applicator, you do have to do certain folds. The SunnyCup fold is the one they recommend. They want you to get it really tightly pinched, take this extra material, and then wrap it around. And yes, it really does take practice. At this point, the people who've made the videos about them, the founders, have done this a bajillion times. So they make it look really easy, and it's hard to keep it pinched while you insert, actually, from my perspective. So I'm going to do it again. Okay, that one I think went better. Okay. And then you want to put it until the stem is just barely poking out. You can put that inside. And then we have liftoff. That part is very fun, actually. Miss Marilyn, you were lucky to be here. You should just chill. That was fun in the air, but let's do a model test. Same thing, we're gonna fold it. And this cup is like one size. I find the diameter to work for me. I did do a dry run when I got the applicator in. So fit-wise, I think it's good. I am looking forward to a full test, but I'm not on my period, so all I can do is do dry runs. So let's launch this into the applicator. That was faster. Definitely is something you get more experience with. So they say to put the green tip in, and then you push, deploy. This part can have a little friction, but just do it slow. And that looks like it opened, but it did not. Insert a finger and help the cup open, but now it's open. So now it's entirely sealed. So it took a little bit of manipulation with my finger and it opened. Does this applicator work with menstrual discs? I know a lot of people have been curious about that, myself included, because I actually prefer discs to cups. And I find the concept of an applicator to maybe apply better to discs also because they don't need to seal and they sort of intuitively open more if they're in the right position in the body. So whereas I have had to manually open all the cups I inserted into models today, and personally have had to do that with all of the applicators I've tried with cups so far, discs are different. So this is a big disc, but I'm curious. This is the Flex. We'll put it with the notch first. And then what doesn't work out great with the Sunny is that if it's a bigger diameter disc, it's going to stick out. So you kind of have to just balance this and push it until it's kind of in the barrel. Then you could do that. That worked. Here is a salt disc, which is smaller. This one has a thicker rim. There's less sticking out with the size small, but when you have like a disc, it needs to fit your anatomy. So you might not want to pick a disc to go with an applicator just because it fits entirely in. It needs to fit your body. And so here we go. So I've tried a couple of discs. I've tried Cora. There are multiple discs that work. The issue being that it's just too long. It's not designed for a disc. So it might be helpful, but now there is another product on the horizon in development called a Philo. It was a Kickstarter. I actually backed that project. So once I get that in, I will be trying it. But yeah. Conceptually, I think that an applicator with a disc makes more sense than an applicator with a cup because of the way they work. But frankly, the jury is still completely out on if the SunnyCup and this cup work for me from start to finish in terms of, will this not leak? Will this open and seal? Am I still going to have to manually open the cup to get it to effectively work? There are things I really like about it. I think there are a lot of intentional design choices to make it work. And of course, the cup itself has the most design to it to make it work in a smaller applicator so it's more comfortable for the user. I did expect this to be more soft. It's not rigid plastic, but it is harder than I thought it would be. I really thought it would be softer. Look for my review later. Lastly, I have the big behemoth. I've been calling it the missile. It is a universal menstrual cup applicator that again looks like a giant tampon applicator, similar to the SunnyCup. They even have the same dent in it. It's just you can see the barrels are much larger. Functionally, they have the same kind of opening. The length of this one would technically work for a disc. This one is too short to work for most one-size discs. So here's what happens. You fold it up. This has a lot more friction with any of the cups that I've tried. You really have to use lube to get this to effectively go into the product. And once it's in there, there's like quite a bit of resistance, so you really have to push. And I kind of had to do that for the SunnyCup too, but this one's way worse. There we go. Oh my God. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? It's coming. That was the most anticlimactic thing I've ever seen. What's gonna happen here? Stuck. Here's the thing. Can you tell already that this product is terrible? I did physically try it out. I tried it in my body. A different one. I bought two in this case. It's just not great. The inside of it's not meant for like things going friction wise. I think like when you just make something to sell it on Amazon or with ads or whatever, you're not thinking about the user experience, you're thinking about the marketing. Can you market this to just be a product that people will buy because they are tired of waiting for the SunnyCup applicator, which people are still waiting for it. Maybe. Can you make ads about it? Can you say it works with all the cups, which the SunnyCup can't say, technically, sort of. So I think it's just a money grab product. Like, I just lubed up that cup and look, it's still, this is not a good experience. And it gets stuck. Now, I'll also say, in my personal experience trying this on a dry run, these pinched, and like because you're sort of forcing it, I had like a whoa, like pop moment because you are sort of like really muscling it in. To be fair, I had a very similar experience with the SunnyCup applicator. So I just want to reserve judgment because I haven't tried it multiple times. So I think there's a learning curve on everything. So I don't want to necessarily say out of the gate that this is just not the best experience for me. But it did require some muscle. I lubricated, that helped a little bit. And it still had that woo. And just for comparison's sake, let's try a disc in this universal applicator. All right, so the disc fits. Let's push it through. It's unwieldy to like get your grip. Ready? See, it gets stuck. I don't love that. Pinchy, pinch, pinch. The missile. I'm just gonna say, like, I know this isn't a review, but this is just a pass for me, 100%. Don't love it. It's huge. It's not really designed well. The inside is like also has texture, so things are not sliding through, and like it comes apart, whatever. Generally speaking, I'm not a big fan of cup applicators. I want to give all of them a fair shot because I think there are some people who could really benefit from them. That said, touch and the tactile experience of inserting a cup and helping it open and guiding it to the right angle is a huge part of using menstrual cups. It's less a part of using menstrual discs, so I'm really intrigued by cup applicators that work for discs, which would be a disc applicator, the Philo being one in development right now. I just prefer discs, so I don't want that bias to come through too much. But I also do just generally prefer discs because I think they're easier to use as well. To try to make a cup easy to use is really hard to do. And when you look back at all of the innovations across time, menstrual cups have been out since the 30s. There was a menstrual cup applicator patent filed in 1969. It looks like a torture device, just to let you know, it looks like an egg beater. So I think people have always had this thing in their mind to try to make the cup easier. But at its core, I just think it is fundamentally something that requires a lot of tactile, sense of touch, engagement with your body, and applicators. I don't know how to say this nicely. I'm still not a big fan. I just don't, I want them to work for people who want them to work for them. I think any tool that helps you succeed with cups is a good idea, but they do need to work. And if you have to manually open the cup with your finger and insert a finger and make it open, does that defeat the purpose of a cup applicator? For me, I would much rather just go ahead and fold it, insert it, and do that all in one take. But I'm also very comfortable with my body, and I've been using cups for a long time. So, you know, I'm not the target audience for the menstrual cup applicator to begin with. If you've had a really good experience with a cup applicator, please comment, let me know. Or if you've had a bad experience, let me know as well. I think that in the comment section is a great place to sort of figure out what's working for other people, because I am only one person. I have my anatomy, my experiences, my history with the products. So please chime in the comments as well. You can also join the Facebook group Period Nirvana community, where we have peer-to-peer support, and you can talk about all of these topics there as well. Thanks so much for watching. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video, which will in all likelihood be a SunnyCup and Applicator review. I'm not going so great. Try it again. The reel is gonna be good on this one. I am clumsy today. Oh my God. And then, oh my God, small or